For a few years now, the Power Tekken 250 has been the best-selling beginner adventure bike in the Kenyan market. It has really done well thanks to its affordable price, the good looks and performance. And just recently, the 2024 improved models started being assembled locally. Some of the improvements include more power, an improved carburetor, a brighter LED headlight, and a new digital TFT meter. Some impressive improvements. At the same time, there is also another new beginner adventure bike that is looking to unsettle the dominance of the Power Tekken 250. That is the Voge DS300. This bike costs 190,000 shillings more than the 2024 improved Power Taken. Now, today we want to answer one simple question. Are the improvements on the Power Taken enough to make it hold its ground against the new Vogue DS300, which, as I've just said, is significantly more expensive? Which of these two bikes will offer you the best value for money, an enjoyable riding and ownership experience? Stay tuned to find out. But before that, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. Apart from this content, we also offer car consultation, independent, in-depth reviews, and sourcing of new as well as used cars. Welcome to IK Auto Reviews. So let's begin with the powertrains. The Power Taken 250 comes with a 223cc single-cylinder 4-stroke engine that is oil-cooled. It produces around 24.5 horsepower. That is an improvement of more than 5 horsepower compared to the previous model. The method of fuel delivery is still a carburetor, though it has been improved to ensure better performance. The top speed is between 120 to around 135 kilometers per hour, depending on the amount of weight the bike is carrying. Like for example, if you are riding with the top and side boxes or with a passenger at the back, then it will be difficult to reach 135 or 140 kilometers per hour. So that top speed really depends on the weight you are carrying around. The gearbox coupled to this engine is a smooth and easy to use 6-speed manual. In terms of performance, it does quite well. Now that there is more power, it feels very spirited and eager, especially when accelerating from a standstill. At speeds of around 100 kilometers per hour, it feels okay, and even the vibrations are very minimal. But as you begin to push it hard, the vibrations become more pronounced, and this is very normal with single cylinder bikes. Maintenance is a breeze on this bike, and even the spare parts are readily available at Nairobi Power Bikes as well as other outlets. It's an easy bike to live with, and in fact, even when it comes to long distances, it does quite well, being that it's oil cooled. So chances of the engine overheating on a long journey are very minimal. As for efficiency, this bike can return all the way up to around 40 kilometers per liter. Of course, it will depend on your riding style, but it's generally very efficient yet decently powerful at the same time. The fuel tank capacity is 13.5 liters. Moving on to the Vogue DS300, this bike comes with a 292cc single-cylinder 4-stroke engine that produces around 28 horsepower, and the method of fuel delivery is EFI, that is electronic fuel injection, which is superior to the carburetor used in the Power Taken. Now, these are some of the areas where cost cutting was done to keep the price of the Power Taken 250 a bit lower. This engine is water cooled, and in terms of the top speed, this bike can do anywhere between 135 to around 155 kilometers per hour. Again, weight is crucial in its ability to attain that speed. So at this point, we can see it has 3 advantages over the Power Taken. These are the method of fuel delivery, the top speed, and the horsepower. Speaking of the horsepower, it has around 4 more horsepower than the Power Taken, and no wonder it's faster in terms of acceleration and the top speed, but it's not by a significant margin. Remember, there's also the aspect of power to weight ratio. This Voge DS is around 14 kilograms heavier than the Tekken 250. So even though the Voge is more powerful and faster, it's really not by a big margin. That engine is also coupled to a smooth 6-speed manual gearbox. The clutch is not heavy at all, so shifting the gears is a breeze. As for performance, the engine feels refined, especially for a single cylinder engine, and in fact, it's only at those high RPMs that you'll feel the vibrations. That is at speeds above 110, 120 kilometers per hour, but generally it's a really refined and well-built bike. You can actually feel that it's a bit of a slightly higher quality bike compared to the Power Tekken, though the Tekken is not far behind. As for efficiency, this bike can achieve around 33 kilometers per liter or even slightly more, but again, it still depends on how you ride as well as the amount of weight you carry on the bike. The fuel tank capacity is 16 liters, so slightly larger than the Tekken's. The ground clearance on the Tekken is 165 millimeters, while on the Voge it measures anywhere between 165 to 190 millimeters. On both bikes, it's good enough. They can handle a bit of off-roading without scratching the engine's underside. As for the seat height, these bikes are good enough for riders with average height. Slightly shorter riders may not be able to flat foot them, but still maneuvering them is manageable, especially being that you can adjust the rear monoshock on both bikes. Speaking of the shocks, they both get inverted shocks at the front and adjustable monoshocks at the back. Generally, the ride quality is decent on both bikes. The suspensions do a good job in trying to iron out the road undulations. The tire size on both bikes measures in at 17 inches at both the front and rear, though as expected, the rear ones are a bit wider. As for braking, the Power Taken gets discs at both the front and back, but ABS is not available at all, which is a bit disappointing. But for the price of the bike, it's not too bad. Again, this is another area where they did a bit of cost cutting to try and keep the price a bit lower. ABS is very important and in fact can save a rider's life. In case of hard braking and there's no ABS, the wheels are likely to lock and this can lead to loss of control. So ABS is very important and I hope that the next update will bring about this safety feature, even if it's just single channel ABS. The Voge, on the other hand, also gets disc brakes at both the front and back, plus ABS, which is quite impressive. The carb weight of the Tekken measures around 141 kgs, while that of the Voge between 155 to around 159 kgs. So, as I said earlier, the latter is slightly heavier. Now, as for the features, both bikes come with LED lights, engine guards and crash guards, USB ports, windshields. On the Voge, it's adjustable. There's also a digital TFT meter on the Power Taken, while on the Voge, there's a larger LCD screen. Both displays are bright and clear enough even during the day. Lastly, they both also come with top and side boxes, though as an option. So in terms of the features, they are almost neck and neck. Now on to their prices. A 2024 Power Taken is currently going for 345,000 shillings plus a 2-year warranty, while a Voge is going for 335,000 shillings plus a 2-year warranty. That's a whole 190,000 shillings price difference. Before we talk about value for money, let's quickly talk about the aesthetics as well as the pros and cons. Which bike would you prefer in terms of the looks? Do let me know in the comment section. I think the Vogue DS has more road presence. It seems a bit bigger, beefier, and more aggressive. It's more likely to turn more heads compared to the Power Taken. That said, the Taken is also a good looker. especially with the top and side boxes. They are generally good looking bikes. Quickly on to their pros. The Power Taken 250 is quite affordable. It's light and friendly to a beginner, so you'll not struggle to maneuver it in a city or maybe a town. Another pro is its efficiency and affordable maintenance. The spare parts are also easily available and well priced. Something else to take note of is that if you have the previous model and you want the updated 2024 version, you can trade in the old model for the new one. On to the cons, they are just two. No ABS and a bit of vibrations at high speeds. That's about it. Moving on to the Voge DS. This is a good looking bike. It's powerful enough, comfortable enough, and in fact, it's slightly more spacious for both the rider and passenger compared to the Power Taken. On to the cons, which again are few. The first one is the price. It's a bit expensive and I'll explain why in a short while. Secondly, the vibrations at high speeds. This is a minor con which is associated with single cylinder engines. Now, with all that said, which bike should you go for? Which one offers better value? The price difference is 190,000 shillings. And what extra do you get on the Vogue? You get 4 more horsepower, ABS, EFI, and a slightly larger fuel tank. And we could also say better looks. Now, the question is, does the 190,000 shillings justify these extras? I don't think so. In my opinion, the Vogue is slightly expensive. So I still think the Power Taken offers better value. At 345,000 shillings, you get the storage boxes, LED lights, windshield, improved power, and something else that I forgot to mention is the keyless start. That is simply good value and it makes a lot of sense, especially if you are on a tight budget. I would say if you really like the Vogue DS300, then cough out the extra 190,000 shillings and go for it. And by the way, you can get a discount on these bikes at Nairobi Power Bikes. Reach out to Gladys via the number on your screen and you may just end up getting yourself a significant discount. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. Stay safe, ride safe, and see you in the next one. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe,